a tranquil Israeli kibbutz located just east of the Gaza border, to report on a devastating attack orchestrated by Hamas terrorists. Kfar Aza, once a peaceful rural community, was now a scene of unspeakable horror. The kibbutz featured single-floor houses and expansive green spaces where children used to play freely. However, the horrors that unfolded had transformed this idyllic setting into a nightmare. Sanchez witnessed the aftermath of the attack, guided by the Israeli military. Showed him the breach in the fence that had allowed Hamas terrorists to infiltrate the community. The path these terrorists had taken was marked by destruction, houses reduced to ashes, and bloodstains covered the walls and floors. It was an unimaginable tragedy that had befallen the residents. The population had been evacuated, leaving an eerie silence hanging over the town. But it was a stark contrast to the previous Saturday when the air was filled with the sound of gunfire and the desperate screams of the townspeople. Some of the Hamas militants' bodies still lay exposed to the unforgiving sunlight. Despite the Israeli military's assertion that they had regained control of the border fence and curtailed the infiltration of Hamas terrorists from Gaza, signs of ongoing conflict persisted. And from the city of Ashdod, farther away from the Gaza border, Sanchez and his team could hear the thunderous roar of heavy machine gun fire from a helicopter. This indicated that Hamas militants had managed to reach Ashdod, a troubling development. The situation hinted at two possibilities: either terrorists were still emerging from Gaza or they remained hidden, 5 days after the shocking attack began. These uncertainties had left residents all across southern Israel in a state of constant fear. The sense of unity and resilience among the Israeli population was palpable. Israel was undergoing a transformation akin to the spirit that emerged in the United States following the 9/11 attacks. The divisive political disputes that had plagued the nation in recent times, particularly the conflict over Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to weaken the Israeli Supreme Court, had been set aside. Yair Lapid, the leader of the Israeli opposition and former Prime Minister, a fierce rival of Netanyahu, expressed his willingness to join a national unity government for the greater good of the nation. This willingness to bridge political divides in a time of crisis was a testament to the seriousness of the situation. In Gaza, the situation was equally dire. The Ministry of Energy had declared that they had exhausted their fuel reserves for the Strip's only power plant, resulting in its shutdown. This raised the alarming prospect of the 2 million residents of Gaza being plunged into darkness. The potential humanitarian disaster that loomed was on an unprecedented scale. Vital medical equipment, such as dialysis machines, depended on electricity to function. Without power, lives were at risk, and people could perish in their hospital beds. Amid these grim circumstances, Israel appeared to be preparing for a large-scale ground offensive, which would mean urban warfare in one of the world's most densely populated areas. The implications were deeply troubling, adding to the already dire situation in Gaza. As international organizations called for the creation of a humanitarian corridor to provide essential equipment and materials to Gaza, the world watched with bated breath as this crisis unfolded. The horrors and the resilience of those affected in the region were vividly captured by Raf Sanchez's report, serving as a stark reminder of the enduring consequences of conflict.